The most Marrakech thing you can eat is not a tagine. It is a humble clay pot buried in the ashes of a bathhouse fire. 20 dishes, one ancient red city, ranked from number 20 down to number 1, with the real price of every single bite. And no, tagine is not number 1. Stay to the end and you will understand exactly why. Number 20 starts now. Number 20. Mint tea. Moroccan whiskey, they call it, poured from a great height into a tiny glass until it foams. About 50 cents. Green tea, a fat bunch of fresh spearmint, and far more sugar than you think you actually want. The pour is theatrical on purpose. Lifting the pot high aerates the tea and crowns each glass with a delicate foam. It is served everywhere, all day, to welcome you, to close a deal, or to simply sit and watch the square move. The taste is hot, sweet, and grassy, the mint cutting the sugar, cooling you down even as it warms your hands. You will drink it a dozen times a day here, and every cup is an invitation to slow down and stay a while. Running total, 50 cents. 19 to go, and the next one is the bread that holds this entire city together. Number 19. Khobz. Round flat loaves baked in shared neighborhood ovens, the quiet backbone of every single Moroccan meal. About 50 cents a loaf. Families still carry their own dough to the communal-wood oven and collect it baked hours later. The crust is firm and golden, the crumb inside soft and dense, built to be torn and used as a spoon. Here bread is not a side. It is the tool. You scoop stew, salad, and sauce with a torn piece in one hand. Split it and stuff it, and it becomes a sandwich filled with fried fish, spiced potato, or grilled meat and salad. Bakeries perfume whole lanes at dawn, and the smell of the morning bake is the true alarm clock of the Medina. $1 so far. Number 18 is fried in sizzling rings at sunrise and threaded onto a loop of palm string. Number 18. Sfenj. Moroccan doughnuts, rings of wet sticky dough pulled by hand and dropped hissing into hot oil. About 50 cents. No sugar in the dough, just flour, water, and yeast, fried until deep gold, crisp and airy. The outside is crisp and lightly chewy, the inside soft and full of holes, still far too hot to hold. You eat them plain, dusted with sugar or dipped in honey, and the best ones are gone before they even cool. The vendor threads several onto a loop of palm frond, so you carry a warm bundle home swinging from one finger. It is breakfast with a glass of mint tea or a late snack, the smell of hot oil pulling you down the lane. $1.50 now. Number 17 is a golden potato fritter that hides inside a warm split loaf of bread. Number 17. Maakouda. Spiced mashed potato patties, coated and fried until the outside turns crisp and deeply golden. About 50 cents. Mashed potato is seasoned with cumin, garlic, coriander, and parsley, shaped into little discs, then fried hot. The good ones shatter softly at the edge, then give to a fluffy spiced potato center that steams as you break it. They are best stuffed into split bread with harissa and a fresh chopped salad, a cheap and glorious handheld lunch. The harissa brings a slow, warm, chilly heat, the salad brings crunch, and the potato quietly soaks up all of it. You find them at snack stalls all over the Medina, fried in big batches and vanishing as fast as they land. $2 now. Number 16 is a square flatbread, folded in layers and griddled until it turns flaky and golden. Number 16. Msemen. A square flatbread, folded and folded around butter, then griddled until it is flaky, crisp, and golden. About $1. Thin dough is oiled, folded into layers like pastry, flattened again, and cooked on a flat iron griddle. The folding builds dozens of thin layers, so it puffs and separates, crisp outside and tender and buttery within. You eat it torn and dipped in honey and melted butter, or in thick amlou, an almond and argan oil spread. The savory version wraps around spiced onion and tomato, folded shut and griddled again into a stuffed golden parcel. It is a breakfast staple with mint tea, griddled fresh to order while you wait and watch the dough being folded. $3 so far. Number 15 is a silky green soup poured from a battered pot, the workman breakfast of Marrakech. Number 15. Bissara. A thick, silky soup of dried split fava beans, blitzed smooth and poured warm into a bowl. About $1. Dried favas are simmered soft with garlic and then blended into a puree the color of pale green stone. The finish is what makes it. A pool of green olive oil, a heavy dusting of cumin, and a hit of fiery paprika. It is the classic cold morning breakfast, cheap and filling, sold from steaming vats before the sun clears the walls. You scoop it with torn bread, the cumin earthy, the oil grassy, the whole bowl warming you from the inside out. Workers line the counters at dawn, spooning it fast before a long day, a bowl that costs almost nothing yet fills completely. $4 now. Number 14 is a tray of dark honey-soaked flowers, fried crisp and drenched in toasted sesame. Number 14. Chebakia. Dough folded into a flower shape, fried crisp, then drowned in warm honey and rolled in sesame. About $1 for a handful. The dough is spiced with anise, cinnamon, and orange blossom, then pinched into a delicate rose. Fried until deep gold, it is plunged straight into honey so the crisp shell soaks up sweetness and turns sticky and glossy. Then a shower of toasted sesame clings to every ridge, and it cools into a sticky, sesame-crusted little jewel. The bite is crunchy then chewy, sweet and floral, with warm spice underneath, deeply rich in the best possible way. It appears in mountains during Ramadan, eaten with Harira to break the fast, but the stalls sell it all year round. $5 so far. Number 13 is a smoky roasted eggplant dip, scooped up with warm bread by the fistful. Number 13. Zaalouk. Roasted eggplant and tomato cooked down slow with garlic and spice into a smoky, silky dip. About $1.50. Eggplant is charred until the skin blackens and the flesh inside turns soft, sweet, and smoky. It is cooked down with tomato, garlic, cumin, and paprika until it collapses into a thick, glossy, spoonable dip. A slick of olive oil, chopped cilantro, and a squeeze of lemon lift it, and it is served either warm or cool. You scoop it with torn bread, the smoke of the eggplant meeting the sweetness of tomato and the warmth of cumin. It arrives as part of a spread of little salads, the first thing on the table, meant to be shared and lingered over. $6.50. Number 12 is a crisp golden triangle, fried shut around a savory or sweet surprise inside. Number 12. Briouat. Thin pastry folded into a crisp triangle around a savory or sweet filling, then fried deep gold. About $1.50. Fine work pastry is wrapped like a little flag around meat, cheese, or almond paste, then sealed. The savory ones hide spiced minced meat, or fish, or a soft melting cheese, hot and salty inside the crackling shell. The sweet ones are packed with almond paste, fried, then dipped in honey so they turn sticky, nutty, and glossy. The pastry is the whole point, so thin it shatters into flakes at the first bite and scatters across your fingers. You find them at snack counters and celebration tables alike, fried fresh in batches and served piping hot in paper. $8 now. Number 11 is a spicy bowl of snails in fragrant broth, and the locals swear it heals you. Number 11. Babbouche. Small snails simmered in a dark broth spiced with a secret mix of roots, seeds, and herbs. About $1 a bowl. Dozens of tiny snails cook in a broth of thyme, aniseed, licorice root, and a dozen more spices. You pull each snail from its shell with a pin or a toothpick, then sip the fragrant, medicinal, deeply savory broth. The broth is the real prize, herbal and warming and faintly bitter, and the locals drink it down as a cold remedy. It tastes like nothing else on the square, earthy and complex, more a warm tonic than a plain bowl of soup. The The stalls glow after dark, steam pouring off huge pots, a small crowd always gathered on stools around them. $9 now. Number 10 is the soup that breaks the fast, thick with lentils, tomato, and a squeeze of lemon. Number 10. Harira. A rich, velvety soup of tomato, lentils, and chickpeas, thickened with flour and finished with fresh herbs. About $1.50. Tomato, lentils, chickpeas, and often lamb simmer for hours, then get thick and silky with a flour broth. It is finished with a storm of cilantro and parsley and a squeeze of lemon that brightens the whole deep, spiced bowl. This is the soup that breaks the fast at sunset in Ramadan, eaten with dates, sweet cookies, and a boiled egg. But it is sold all year from stalls on the square, ladled hot into bowls for anyone who needs warming. The texture is the magic, thick but not heavy, deeply savory and gently spiced, comforting in a way that feels ancient. $10.50. Number 9 hits the grill in coiled spicy links, and the smell of it carries clear across the square. Number 9. Merguez. Slim lamb sausages spiced fiery red with harissa and cumin, grilled until they blister and split open. About $2. Ground lamb is packed with garlic, cumin, paprika, and harissa, then coiled into thin, deeply red links. On the grill, the fat renders and the skin crackles, so each bite snaps then floods with juice and warm spice. The smell is the advertisement, cumin and charcoal and chili drifting across the square and pulling you straight to the grill. You eat them tucked into bread with harissa and salad, or straight off the skewer with a squeeze of fresh lemon. The harissa doubles the heat, the lemon cuts the richness, and the char adds a smoky edge to the spiced lamb. $12.50. Number 8 is a fistful of spiced minced meat, molded onto a skewer and grilled over hot coals. Number 8. Kefta. Minced lamb or beef kneaded with onion, cumin, and parsley, molded around a skewer and grilled over fire. About $2.50. The meat is worked with grated onion and a fistful of herbs and spice until it turns tender and fragrant. Molded onto flat skewers, it grills fast over coals, the outside charring while the inside stays juicy and soft. It also gets simmered into a tomato tagine, a nest of spiced meatballs with eggs cracked in to poach on top. Off the skewer, it is smoky and rich, packed into bread with onion and salad, or eaten straight with cumin salt. The grills line the night square, fans of smoke rising, the vendors calling you over to a stool and a plate. $15 now. Number 7 is the grill at its purest, cubes of marinated meat charred fast over glowing coals. Number 7. Brochettes. Cubes of lamb, beef, chicken, or liver marinated in spice, threaded onto skewers and grilled over coals. About $2.50 a skewer. The meat marinates in cumin, paprika, garlic, and oil, then chars fast over fierce heat. The best cuts stay pink and juicy inside with a smoky, crusted char outside, seasoned simply so the meat can lead. They fan the coals with a piece of cardboard, sparks flying, so the whole stall glows and roars with heat. You eat them off the skewer with bread, raw onion, cumin salt, and a fiery smear of harissa to dip. It is the simplest thing on the square and one of the finest, meat and fire and spice and nothing wasted. $17.50. Number 6 turns sweet, a mound of vermicelli steamed soft, dusted with sugar and cinnamon. Number 6. Seffa. Fine vermicelli steamed soft, tossed with butter, then heaped into a sweet cinnamon-dusted mound. About $2.50. The strands are steamed again and again until impossibly tender, then folded with butter and powdered sugar. It is built into a mountain, striped with cinnamon, crowned with fried almonds, raisins, and a soft dusting of sugar. The contrast is the joy, warm tender strands, sweet cinnamon, crunchy almonds, sometimes a spoon of thickened milky sauce alongside. It can be dessert or a sweet centerpiece at a celebration, sometimes hiding tender chicken or lamb underneath the sweet strands. Sweet and savory at once, it is the kind of dish that surprises every visitor who expects sugar to mean only dessert. $20 now. From here up, the top 5 are the dishes Marrakech would truly fight you over. Number 5 is a Friday feast. Number 5. Rfissa. Shredded flatbread soaked in a fragrant lentil and fenugreek broth, then piled high with slow-cooked chicken. About $4. Sheets of Msemen or day-old bread are torn into ribbons and laid down to drink up the broth. A whole chicken simmers slowly with lentils, onions, and a heavy hand of fenugreek and the Ras el-Hanout spice blend. Fenugreek is the signature, faintly bitter and maple sweet at once, giving the whole dish its deep amber color and aroma. The torn bread soaks the broth until soft, then the chicken and lentils go on top, and more broth is ladled over. Every layer drinks up flavor, so the bottom is soft and rich, the top tender, the whole bowl deeply savory and warming. It is comfort food with a purpose, traditionally cooked for new mothers, said to restore strength with its warming, healing spice. You eat it from a shared platter with your hands or a spoon, everyone reaching into the same fragrant golden mound. This is a Friday dish, a family dish, the kind of meal that means someone spent the whole morning caring for you. $24 now. Number 4 is a pie that hides sweet and savory together under a crackling dome of pastry. Number 4. Bastilla. A round pie of paper-thin pastry wrapped around spiced poultry and almonds, dusted with sugar and cinnamon. About $5 a slice. Sheets of worka pastry are layered around shredded pigeon or chicken cooked down with saffron and onion. In go crushed sugared almonds, a soft layer of eggs cooked in the spiced broth, then more pastry, then into the oven. It bakes until the top turns crisp and golden, then it is flipped and finished with powdered sugar and a lattice of cinnamon. Then you break through the crackling top, and sweet and savory arrive together, sugar and cinnamon over saffron-spiced meat. The pastry shatters, the almonds crunch, the meat is tender and fragrant, and the sugar makes no sense until it does. It is a celebration centerpiece, the dish that opens a wedding feast, older and grander than almost anything else on this list. The contrast sounds wrong on paper, sugar over meat, but one bite and you understand why it has survived for centuries. You can find smaller street versions filled with seafood or chicken, crisp and cheaper, a handheld taste of the grand original. $29 now. Number 3 is the dish on every Marrakech postcard, the conical clay pot, and it still is not number 1. Number 3. Tagine. A conical clay pot that slow steams meat, vegetables, and fruit into a fragrant stew, the icon of Morocco. About $5. The tall cone traps rising steam, condenses it, and drips it back down so everything cooks slow and moist. This is the postcard image of Morocco, rows of colorful cones lined up steaming outside every restaurant in the Medina. The classics are unforgettable. Lamb with prunes and almonds, chicken with preserved lemon and olives, or tender beef with quince. The meat falls apart after hours of gentle steam, the sauce reduced to something deep, glossy and layered with warm spice. Sweet and savory dance again, soft prunes against rich lamb, salty olives against bright preserved lemon and saffron chicken. You scoop it with bread, no fork needed, chasing the sauce around the cone until the very last drop is gone. Here is the honest part. It is genuinely magnificent, but it became the thing every menu leads with and every tourist orders first. It absolutely earns the fame. It just is not the quiet, everyday thing the city cooks when no camera is watching. $34 now. Number 2 only appears on special days, a whole lamb slow roasted until it collapses off the bone. Number 2. Mechoui. A whole lamb rubbed with butter and cumin, then roasted for hours in a deep clay pit oven. About $5 for a plate. The lamb roasts slow over embers until the skin crisps golden and the meat turns meltingly soft. In Marrakech, there is a whole alley for it, Pit ovens sunk into the ground, lambs turning slowly in the heat below. The cook pulls the meat straight off the carcass by hand, still steaming, tender enough to fall apart at a single touch. It is served plain, weighed out by hand, with nothing but cumin and salt to dip and warm bread to catch it. The seasoning is restraint itself, just butter, cumin, and salt, because after hours in the pit the lamb needs nothing more. This is feast food, the dish for weddings, festivals, and the great celebration of Eid, meant to be shared by many hands. There is no rush and no shortcut, just fire, clay, salt, and hours, the oldest way there is to cook meat. It tastes of pure smoke and tender lamb and patience, the meal that turns an ordinary day into a real occasion. $39 now. One left. And the answer is not a tagine at all. It is cooked in the ashes of a bathhouse. Number 1. Tanjia. Meat, garlic, preserved lemon, and spice sealed in a clay urn, then buried in the embers of a bathhouse fire. About $4 a portion. Above the pit lamb. Above the postcard tagine. A pot cooked in ashes is the soul of the city. This is the true dish of Marrakech, cooked nowhere else quite like this, tied to the furnace that heats the public baths. It began as the meal of working men, thrown together in the morning, left with the furnace keeper, and collected slow cooked at night. Here is the argument for number 1. The pit and the postcard tagine are places you go, dishes you seek out. The tanjia is the everyday soul food, cooked slow and unattended in the ashes while the whole city goes about its day. Inside, the meat steams in its own juices with Sfenj, saffron, and preserved lemon until it falls apart at the lightest touch. It is poured out onto a plate, the sauce deep amber and heady with cumin and aged butter, the garlic gone sweet and soft. The taste is pure Marrakech, smoky and rich and ancient, the flavor of slow fire and patience, and this old red city itself. This is what the city actually tastes like. Not the icon, not the postcard, just the dish it has quietly loved forever. 20 dishes. $43 in total. And the best one was a clay pot cooked in the ashes of a fire. That is the whole point of this city. The best thing is never the famous thing. It never was. So which one did I get wrong? Because somebody is already typing a furious defense of the tagine right now. Tell me in the comments. If enough of you argue for the same dish, I will give it a full episode. And tell me which country the compass should point to next. The single most requested one gets made next. Hungry Compass. One legendary dish, one unforgettable country, every single week. Next week we leave Morocco entirely and chase a street food so fragrant the whole night market smells of spice and smoke. If you made it this far, you're exactly who this channel is built for. Subscribe and stay hungry. One more thing before you go, and it brings us right back to exactly where we first started. The most Marrakech thing you can eat is not a tagine. It is a humble clay pot buried in the ashes of a bathhouse fire.